What's up, Soul Tribe family? Welcome back to another episode of Soul Seat Conversations, our mental wellness podcast. My name is Soliél Lindsey. I am your host and the owner of Soul Rise Essentials, where we offer mental wellness products and services for resilient humans on the go. Services that we offer are public speaking. We also have this beautiful podcast that we do, and we share stories of resilience. Soul Seat Conversations exist to not only share stories of resilience, I can't talk today, but build global community, and it exists for you to discover new ways to thrive via the brave voices of others. We are filming live. Shout out to those of you in the Soul Tribe family who are in the comments. Barrington, I see you. SJ Health and Wellness, I see you as well. Mama Rigsby, hey y'all, hey. Super excited about today's guest. She is actually a cousin that I just met a couple of years ago of mine. And so I'm super excited to have her on the podcast today. She is a social worker and a clinical therapist, and she's going to be sharing her journey of 4 decades, 40 years in her, plus actually, in her field. And I'm super excited to introduce Diseree Young to y'all. I have Diseree in the room. Before I bring her in, I want to just make some quick announcements. We are not here to treat and or diagnose, okay, any mental health or medical condition. There are therapists, due to the nature of what we do and who we serve, that come on our podcast. And Diseree is no different. She is a professional. She does have letters behind her name, but she is simply a human sharing her lived experience today. Nothing more, nothing less. We will be talking about her field, but again, we're not treating or diagnosing anyone. And although, again, they may appear on our show, they are simply humans sharing their lived experience. So we're not giving any medical or professional advice. And then I do want to offer a trigger warning for every single episode, because due to the nature of our podcast being about mental health, sometimes some things may trigger things in your heart, your mind, or spirit. And take care of yourself. If you need to pause it and come back, if you need to shut it down and never come back because a topic episode is too triggering for you, we absolutely understand that. But for those of you who join us and get something out of it every single month, we appreciate it. Even if you don't relate to the topic shared on any episode, feel free to send it to someone who does. You never know whose life you can change by the words and wisdom and lived experience of someone else. You can find all these episodes on YouTube just by going to Soul Rise Essentials. That's SOL Rise Essentials on YouTube, or you can simply type in the name of our podcast, which is Soul, SOL, Seat, like you sitting in a seat having a conversation with an S, Soul Seat Conversations on YouTube as well. And you can find every episode. If you have a story, a resilient story, a mental health story to share, we would love to hear from you. Just email us at mystory@soulriseessentials.com. We will set up a call and make sure, the pre-interview goes well. It's a good fit for our podcast. And then we will bring you on the podcast. We are booked up through 2026. Again, we only do this once a month. And so I like to book it up as far in advance, but we do have some slots for 2026 if you are available. If you're watching the replay, throw some, sunshine emojis down in the comments. If there's something said here that resonates with you or you had an aha moment, throw some sunshine emojis in the comments for that. Again, if you're watching a replay, do hashtag replay. Okay. And I think that's it. Diseree, you ready? All right, here we go.
Hello. Oh my goodness.
We figured
This
it out.
technology is something else.
It is something else. How are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm good. Welcome to the Soul Seat.
Yes, that's
So for
right.
yes, so for those of people who don't know you, I'm in Virginia. You are in Michigan. Tell people who
Detroit.
you are and where you're located.
Um, I'm Diseree Young, and I am in Detroit, Michigan.
Yes. And
Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan.
and I think there's somebody in here that must be related to you. They're in Detroit. Mia, Monty, I think their name is.
Oh yes, that's my niece Trania. Trania
Yes.
Young. Mhm.
Yes. So hey, cousin. So we are
Yeah.
related on my
Uh-huh.
grandfather's side, and it's so good to see you and interact with you. I wanted to bring you on the podcast because when we were getting to know each other, I learned that you are in the mental health field and have been for over 40 years.
Yeah.
And so I thought this was a conversation to highlight not only what you do, but to bring, this intergenerational conversation, this gap together by having conversations from the clinician side, which is where you are. And then for me, just being an advocate and being someone open with their lived experience with mental health. So I thank you for being here.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Yes. So first off, before we get into any more introduction, I want to ask you, I always start off with I have a couple different segments here. So I like to ask people in this moment, how is your mental health on a scale from 1 to 5? 5 being the highest, one being the lowest.
It has to be a five with what I have to deal with every day. Um, yes, it's a juggle. No, I'm not perfect. I don't mean that when I say a five, but I have to say a five because of the issues that I deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Um, I work at home, so I do virtual online therapy with BetterHelp, and this started once the pandemic hit.
Yes.
Before that, I was doing in-home therapy with kids with autism,
Okay.
and when the pandemic hit and things started shutting down, the concerns about going into a home and uh, even as a staff person going into a home, so it was both. It went both ways.
Yeah.
So people made decisions because the parents could say whether they wanted to continue or not, whether we had a pandemic or not. And that's what
Absolutely.
happened. So, and at that point, I was in my late 50s. I just turned 63 last week. Hey,
Woo-hoo. Happy belated birthday. Looking
thank
good.
you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Um, so I was in my late 50s, so I was in the high risk category, so to speak, when the pandemic hit. So at that point, I made a decision. I'm keeping my booty at home.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So, what are your credentials? What do you do for those of us who don't know you?
Okay.
Tell us your credentials and what you
Okay.
do.
I am a social worker, so I'm a licensed master social worker. I went to Michigan State, so I got my master's back then. Um, that was in '91. Before that, I was already working in my profession. I lived in Lansing for 13 years, so I started in the hospital setting. So that's where I started my mental health and psych background.
Wow.
And so I worked adolescent psych, geriatric psych. I worked with victims, eating disorders, substance abuse with adolescents and adults.
Wow.
I was with that hospital for 7 years. Um, it was closed when, at that time in '91, our Governor Angler decided that some psych hospitals needed to be closed,
Mm.
and a lot of us definitely were not in agreement with that, but it happened. So that one closed because we actually kind of opened it together. Uh, some of the units, well, actually the adolescent unit didn't even have furniture yet, so we were a part of picking the furniture, walking the floors. So that was like our baby, so to speak. So when all of that closed, we were very hurt. And all of us keep in touch to this day. Through the years, we've lost some people.
Mm-hmm.
Our director of psych is still in Lansing. He's a psychologist, so he has about three or four locations. Come and work at one of my agencies. I'm like, okay. So we keep in touch. But that was the best experience I can say looking back in my life
Wow.
and looking the journey that I've been on, that's really set me for all the other things that I have done.
Yeah, you've experienced a lot, and that's why I wanted to talk to you too. It sounds like you've seen and treated so many different types of things that people are experiencing. So let's go back a little bit. Quick
Okay.
question for you: do you practice any mindful or intentional breathing yourself?
Yeah, I do. And
Okay.
I heard you talking about resting. That is one of the main things that I start off with my clients.
Mm,
If you
wow.
are not taking, well, the thing is to take care of yourself.
Yeah,
You have to take care of yourself in order to be able to do other things for yourself or other things for other people.
absolutely.
And people pay attention to how you take care of yourself. I always say that. So if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you look for somebody else to do it?
Yeah,
That could be anyone, family, anybody. If you're not doing it, why should they do it?
absolutely. And
So
I'll
you
tell you
have
the
to start with yourself. Go ahead.
I'll tell you the reason I asked you that question. I am in whole heart agreement with what you just said. The reason I asked that question is because another one of our segments that we do here is called just taking a mindful moment. And what I do is I incorporate before we get into the stories because it's a lot, even though you're coming from the clinician standpoint, you have your own journey as well. And so I want to do what I call box breathing. It's a couple different names that people call it, or square breathing, but I do it very simple here on the podcast before we get into our story, just to recenter ourselves from
Okay.
whatever we were doing before, and just to show people what it looks like to calm your nervous system in real time and how easy and quick it could be. So I always like to do 4 counts. So inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then release for 4, and then 4 seconds before we start the next one. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't done it in a while because I just do my own thing that I do. But yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to go with the one I just said, or you want to show us
Sure,
something?
we can do yours.
Okay, all right. Well, just relax. Everybody listening, y'all can join in with us as well. Close your eyes and just get centered and relax your hands and every part of your body if you can, and your feet. Then we're going to inhale for 4 on the count of 1, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and hold. 2, 3, 4. Release. Inhale for 4 and hold. Release. Third one. Inhale and hold. Release. This is our last one. Inhale for 4 and hold. Release. I don't know about you, but I feel very relaxed. How you feel?
Feels good. I love that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I
So tell
used to
me
do
more
a
about yours.
relaxation therapy in when I did a day treatment program. One of my group sessions would be a relaxation therapy, and it was the breathing, and you went from head to toe,
Yes.
and very relaxed when you finished it. I really enjoy these kind of techniques because they are very helpful. I do a bedtime routine with clients that are really struggling with anxiety, depression, overwhelming feelings, all of those things, and they can do these things to help themselves relax. What people don't realize, from a kid, you had a bedtime routine. And you had a bedtime because you were preparing for the next day to go to school or whatever. You have
Yeah.
to prepare for the next day, and you have to calm down from that day that you've already had. People don't do that. They
Mm.
just go lie down or whatever they do, and they have not relaxed themselves and deprogrammed, so to speak, or let go of what that day has been. I
Mm.
don't care if you have been at home all day.
Yeah.
You still were up and something, even if you just sat there and just looked at the wall, you still have to calm down from that.
Hmm.
And that's what I tell people. So, yes, a bedtime routine, a bedtime, that's a start. And then you have your routine. You prepare yourself to rest at night so you can sleep.
That's so good. Have you ever read a book or heard of a book called Why We Sleep?
Yes, I have. I haven't
Okay.
read it, but I have heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, I have that one, and there's another one called Revolution that I have after I did my rest workshop with the community a few months ago. I had a resource list of books, and those two books were on there. And this conversation reminds me that I need to crack them open because I need to do that. We get away from very simple, basic
Yes,
practices.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
four, and I have four parts to it, and it so it includes you taking care of yourself. It includes your hygiene, everything,
Mm.
but you're going to rest and you self-talk, all of that. It's okay to talk to yourself.
Yes, it is. You know, they used to always say back in the day, it's just okay, just don't answer back. What are your thoughts
Yeah.
about that?
You can answer. You talking to yourself. So what?
Okay.
Answer.
I know
Because it
that's
helps
right.
you keep your head and your mind going. You're thinking.
Yeah.
Process it and put it in
Yeah.
perspective. Don't
Yeah.
just let it go. You
That's right.
process it and put it in perspective for yourself.
I love that. So let's go back to your childhood. How does one step into the mental health field? And what dreams did you have as a child? Like I know people just don't wake up and say, "Oh, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life." Because when you talk about psych, I am so like I've been doing this podcast for almost 3 years now, and I've learned so much because there are people that come on that have actual diagnoses and they share their story. So
Yes.
they've helped me get better with this, and also the books that I've read about psych doctors and what they've experienced. It's helped me not be less afraid. But when I think about a psych ward, I don't know why. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I could be able to handle that. So nobody wakes up and say, "Oh, I want to go work at a psych ward." Like not as a kid. Maybe I don't know, but
No,
like
I didn't. No, I actually started off with nurse. I want to be a nurse. And then I went to pediatrician. So when I left for college, I was pre-med. Um, then as you learn and as years have gone by, people have more and more options now.
yeah.
I didn't have the same options that people have now.
Yeah.
So I probably would have done something else still helping people because I was raised that way. I was raised to help others. We always was helping somebody in the family, either both sides, mom and dad's. Um, so that's how I was raised. I was the only child for 9 years. So I have a brother, your cousin, um, but I'm 9 years older than him. So I was with four adults.
Mm.
So I was exposed to l- seeing how adult life was and things that happen and what people do for each other and how they help each other out. And that's where that came from. My mom and my grandmother, which was my mother's mother, always helping somebody, especially in the family. So that's where it came from. Because when I sit down sometimes and think about it, I'm like, that's where I got it from.
Yeah. So your love of helping people in general, because that's what you saw when you were growing up, brought you into this field. Let me ask you a question.
What?
Do you think, well, I know the answer to this first part. It's like a two-part question. We've gotten away from that, just helping people. Why do you think, because society is so different,
Yeah.
why do you think that that has taken place and why are we not so willing to help people at this the first thought when they need help?
Well, this is what I always say. Society has destroyed us and the family, what that really means. Family was taken away from us as far as what that really was supposed to be about. In the 80s, it started becoming uh not cool or whatever people were saying at the time to listen to your parents or do what they ask you to do. And so then the systems really jumped in and starting to interfere with what the family dynamics are supposed to be and the family togetherness and love and all of that. uh and definitely some type of spirituality, some type of religion, if you want to say that. But knowing that there is something higher, a higher power than you, because you didn't put yourself here. I would say that to anyone. You didn't do it. Now, however you believe to get to wherever you are now, you didn't do it. You don't wake yourself up every morning. Something else is doing that that's much higher than you. But that is not there. I've had through the years, kids have been raised to fear some a book, to fear the Bible. I'm not saying someone should read. I mean, you got so many different religions. So many different things and those are people's choices. I don't infringe that on anyone. But to actually see someone that was raised to fear a book, to fear just it being in their presence, and that and that was beginning of the '90s. Then, when I was doing individual, group, and family therapy, and that has really, the generations have changed because the support of that and taking things out of the schools. Nobody wants to support anything anymore that is something to build you and make you more powerful and more in control of yourself. That has been taken away from people
Yeah.
gradually. If you pay attention to all of as the generations have gone and the different pieces of and bits that have happened, you will
Yeah.
see.
And you are right. This is why I love these intergenerational conversations. You have just shared that you had a birthday last week. You're in your 60s looking wonderful. I'm in my 30s. I am half
And you
your
look
age.
wonderful.
Thank you. I am half your age. And I think our passions for these topics and for helping people is a shared thing that we have in common, you know? Why shouldn't we have conversations? And I love
Yeah,
how open-minded you are, even with what you said about what people can choose to study as a religion or even practice. That is not something that you commonly hear someone your age say. And I hate to generalize, and I try not
yeah,
to do that. But being that times were so different when you were coming up versus when I was coming up in the 90s, things shape your mindset. And so if you grew up a certain way, of course you're going to view the world from your personal lived experiences. So I love having these conversations with people who may think differently. I've
yeah.
had conversations with people your age and younger who literally have told me mental health does not exist. And then to know someone their age and older who work in said field of the thing that is not supposedly existing,
Uh-huh.
it's so starkly different. But I enjoy listening, whether I agree or not. I've learned to enjoy listening or appreciate people's perspective because I'm like, now I'm curious. Why do you think
Yeah.
that? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie like a part of me ain't agitated, like, did you really just say that? But I've learned to lean more into curiosity, because there are people who think that way and I want to know why. And
Mm-hmm.
so I appreciate your perspective and like all of the work that you do and your willingness to have a conversation with somebody younger and also be open to learning something new and vice versa.
Yeah. But that's how you live and enjoy life and experience life. Life is challenging enough. There's many, many challenges in life.
Yes,
Uh and how you are as a person, your strength, the control you have, and you knowing yourself. When you know who you are, that's your shield right there.
that's it.
Things that
Oh,
come at you cannot hurt you. You know, uh, I've always been a quiet person, so to speak, as far as living my life and being myself. Even as a teenager, you know, I kept to myself, but I did. I had my friends. I hung out. We all keep in touch to this day. Our
yeah.
school had many different cultures of people. We had like 88 different cultures at our school,
That
and
is
that was
mind
from
blowing.
grade school on.
That is mind
You
blowing. I'm
know,
sure some of that has shaped your perspective, right?
yes, because through the years I have worked with all different cultures of people.
What has that taught you?
I've actually been all over Michigan, and I had an opportunity to work in Hawaii with military families and their kids in the school setting on the base.
Wow.
Um,
What have those multicultural diverse experiences taught you about life?
that people are people, no matter where you are, and the same things happen, and you have to deal with what is happening with the person. It's not about judging. I don't judge people. I talk about what is happening and what it is and what to deal with and how to get through that and different ways to do that. But I've always had the interest of learning about other cultures. But from a kid learning that, because we would go to each other's houses and go different places together. We still experience, because sometimes the parents, they weren't, they would say, well, my parents don't care for this, but hey, we doing this. So we all still did stuff together, you
What
know.
would you say to people from your generation and beyond, or just people in general who think that mental health is not real, or who say we went through much worse, or y'all doing too much, y'all soft? What do you say to those people?
Well, at that point, even when they say that, they're still talking to me about their stuff. So obviously,
Hello?
you
And
believe
and
something or
and
feel something, and that's what I
listen.
say.
Oh,
But
that's
I
good.
get all ages. I get teens, even a little. I'll say 12-year-olds and up. And I've worked with someone 100 years old. I've done home health care, day treatment programs. So you're getting your seniors for real. Now I'm a senior now, for real. Um, but I have to work with 100-year-old person who still has their clear mind. So my cousin, that's my journey. My great grandmother, which would be your great great grandmother, they kind of lost track of her age, but they're saying she lived to be 103, 2, 4, somewhere in there. But she had that long white hair, and she still was alert. She looked good. They sent us pictures. So I've worked with the 100-year-old that still can talk to you just as clear and can tell somebody about their butt if they want, she
Okay.
want, or
If that
she or
ain't
he wanted to.
if
But
that ain't
that having
Marion
that
Young.
having that experience, to work with um patients, because that would be home health care at that time. Patients who, you know, are still there just to experience that. So my journey is 110. And I would love, as long as I can have my clear mind
Yeah. Yeah.
and continue on that way. But I've worked with infants. People say, how do you work with infants? Well, you have to get down on the floor with them and see what they're doing. Look at
What?
how they're developing, and then work with the parent.
Hmm. I was gonna say, what would be some reasons you in your profession would be working with infants?
Well, and I started that when I was in Lansing as well. But yeah, you have to help the parents understand and see and make sure that the baby is okay and is going through the I'll say normal, so to speak, appropriate. I don't know what you're going to call appropriate. Everybody's different, but the normal developmental stages that a baby goes through, and going through each becoming a toddler and all of that. But that's how you do it. It's what you're playing, but you're assessing and you're seeing what they can do or cannot do, and
Yeah.
then you help the parent uh with what they need to do, because you're not living with them. So
Right.
you're
Right.
like, here, do this. You
Yeah.
try this, and let's see how that goes. And same thing when I was working with the kids with autism. You do the same thing, because the parent still has to work with their kid when you're gone.
Mm.
The consistency and all of that,
Hmm. Yeah. What
So,
What was your What was your college experience like?
well, I was 17 when I left home. So I turned 18 that November. I left home that September. So still being 17, like, oh, it's only 2 months. No, you still was 17. 17 is 17. You're not 18 yet. So there's a different feeling. So when I turned 18 in November, started looking at things even more in a different way. You don't think so, but you do.
Mm-hmm.
But leaving home, I wanted to go. I was ready to go and to experience this next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Going to a large university. Um, I may not say do that now. You know, just learning because a university can be so overwhelming for people. I was good with it, but I met a lot of people that had a real difficult time. Uh, and being exposed to all different kinds of people, not just culture, kinds of folks and everybody coming at you, your freshman year. Everyone's coming at you to make you make a decision on how to start living your life and what to be a part of.
Two questions. Which university did you go to?
Michigan State University
Okay, I think you did say that earlier. And then
in East
you're
Lansing. Uh-huh.
okay, East Lansing. And then other question, do you think, well, okay, two parts. We talk a lot about on this podcast the onset of mental illness or like a mental break happening in your early 20s. Especially, you have to pay special attention, we've learned, to when kids are going off to college. And I think you just helped me connect the dot here. There's so much that they are exposed to. Can you talk more about that? Like why people may be seeing these mental breaks or may want to watch out for any mental health changes if they have a young person going off to college?
Well, you people are coming from all different type of home environments and home settings. You can have someone that came from a small town and to be exposed to all of this coming at you, and I'm not exaggerating. You get this coming, you know, you get the older people coming after you. Well, I'm female, so older men coming on campus.
Yes, they
Even
do.
then, we're talking 1980. They,
Yep.
trying to see who the young girls are and making up stories about their lives, making to like, oh, he is really something. Um,
I wanna put a pin in that real quick. I worked at a college university in their dining hall, and it is so true. They would think I went to the school and thought I just had a part-time job in the dining hall or something like that. Oh, those older men be on campus on the prowl. And
yes,
I got by one of them one time.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a real
yeah.
thing.
There was one he had went around. He was going around to a lot of people. He was his story was that he was doing his residency at one of the hospitals in Lansing, but he came into East Lansing on campus, um, trying to pick a few freshmen, you know, and by us, you start learning the different groups. So yeah, you have to get with your own.
Yeah, yeah,
Being
yeah,
real. So you
yeah.
have the Black Caucus, and each dorm has the Black organization in it, and you're going to be a part of it because that's you, that's your culture. You need to do it because you find out a lot of division is there
What
on
are some
campus everywhere.
What are some ways that parents can help build their teenagers' emotional and mental resiliency? What do they need to be talking to them about before they go to school?
Thing is, don't pressure them to go.
Mm,
Make sure it's their decision that they want to go.
mm.
It was my decision to go. Nobody pressured me to go. Okay. When someone is, and I've met a lot of students like that, their parents have pressured them to go. No, be supportive of your teen, because they already been going through stuff and you've gone through stuff with them, making decisions even at that level. Because in high school, there's still pressure, because then you're pressured to make decisions about what you're going to do before you have even gotten to 18 to go to your next level, what you're going to do. So be a supportive parent, do things together, just talk about things, just everyday life, but let them know that they have a choice. A lot of times, kids have to do certain things because that's the legend, and you got to keep the legacy going. I get that, but that pressure, I've seen it. It's a lot of pressure on them when you do
Yeah.
that to them.
Yeah. And being a parent now, I would like to also add it's okay to share your stories, even the ones that you are embarrassed about, because the greatest lessons that I have learned from my mom are the ones that she shared with me of her own shortcomings and mistakes. To this day, I'm not leaving my purse around nobody. I ain't leaving no bar at no drink. I ain't going nowhere at all if I don't know who there. I'm not riding the car with people who I don't know going to a place. You know what I mean? These are things that she talks to me
Yep.
about from her own experience, like wearing expensive jewelry out at night. And, from her own, she had a situation where she had to go. A friend gave her her purse and it was something in it, and that they were at a department store with something in that purse that shouldn't have been. I think she was stealing it and gave it to my mom or something like that. My mom went to jail for that friend.
Yeah.
So things like that, people try to parents sometimes have this notion that like they want to appear like they got it all together for their children. And those
And
are the
you
people
don't
you
know.
you should be telling them your stories, because we repeat what we don't know. So the things
Yeah.
that people have struggled with on in our family, drug addiction and all of that stuff, AIDS and dying from that. I'm talking to my son about all of that stuff when the time is right, because you need to know the afflictions that are possibly on our family line, and if I don't
Uh-huh.
talk to you about it, you might repeat that.
Yeah. My son is 28, and we are close. He's living his life now. Going through that 28 and 20 late 20 stuff. I get it.
Of course.
But we can talk about any and everything, and have from a baby when he started talking. People may not realize that, but we do and have. Sometimes, every now and then, we have that all night talk. We talking about any and everything. And we up 4 o'clock in the morning. We always been night people, but still, we'll do that from time to time. That's not every week, every month,
Yeah.
every 2 months, nothing like that. There's no time on it. If we start talking, we just talk.
You got to
He'll
give
tell
your
me things
children.
that he done kept to himself, and then he'll tell me about it. But we still
Yeah.
have talked about it. He still
Yeah.
told me.
Yeah. I
But
always say
that's
you
the
got to
that's the important thing
it
to do
is.
and have.
It is. You have to lay that foundation for your little baby chicklings and birdies, and then at some point when that egg crack, have you done shielding them, doing what you're supposed to do to nurture them. You got to get them space to let their wings come out and fly. And you trust that foundation you built for them,
Yeah,
that they will come back to that if they need to, but that it's their foundation for all the decisions that they make.
yeah.
People think that like sheltering their children is
And
going
that's the thing. If you want them to go to college and you shelter them, it's gonna be
a
a
wrap.
horrible experience. It is.
And also, too, I think allowing your children to make certain mistakes builds their mental fortitude and their confidence. They're gonna
Because
need that.
you're leaving home and you're going to something totally different from what you have lived, and you have to make decisions yourself. Your parents are not there to make those decisions. So
Yeah.
you have to make the decisions.
Can you talk a bit about seniors and mental health and what things we should be considering and looking out for? Whatever comes to your mind to share on that.
Well, the first thing came to mind when you asked me that is Make sure that your seniors are taken care of. Do things with them, spend time with them. You know, I've been into many, many homes through the years, especially doing home health care at the time I was doing home health care. Um, and just sitting there looking at the family dynamics. Because a lot of times they're not living by themselves.
Mm,
Uh, Taking care of the household. Their money is
mm-hmm,
taking care of the household. I don't care
mm-hmm.
how little or how lot
Yep,
it is. And you have two or three other people in the household,
yep, yep, yep.
but they are the ones that are ill, need the care, and don't get that.
Mm,
I can count on one hand the families and the homes that I've walked into that the siblings were together with taking care of their parent, because usually it's one parent, one is already deceased, or it may be that they're both living, but one is really ill and the
yeah,
siblings help. But they're on a schedule, everything. And I commend them when I see that,
yeah.
because you don't. The touch, just the knowing that you're there and caring for them, that helps them live longer.
Mm,
Just the basic care.
wow.
I walked into homes where people wouldn't even give their loved one a glass of water.
Mm, wow.
And I would address that. See, I address everything.
I know
I'm
that's
like,
right.
listen, I'm gonna
Yeah,
give you some time to get this together. But if you don't get it together, I will have to do something about it.
that's right. That's right. What can you say? What signs should people look out for with seniors in terms of declining mental health, and what can they do about it?
Well, you have the stages of dementia, which then it can become the actual disease, Alzheimer's. But once again, it's what you do with them. If you see certain things that the foggy or whatever, or disoriented. Sometimes disoriented, they have um a urinary tract infection, a UTI.
Yeah.
It's a medical thing. Sometimes it is just a medical thing, but you have to jump on that and do something about it then.
Mm,
So that's important to paying attention to what that is. But keep them busy. And when I say busy, putting things together, I used to do creative therapy
mm-hmm.
groups with seniors, and they did crafts. But I'm assessing what they can and cannot do, their abilities,
Yep.
and how they talk. You talk to them, make them talk. And when I say make them talk, how you doing, so and so? So and so, you hear me talking to you. Tell me something, or to give them something that would may help. What kind of things did you tell me? Do you remember what you used to do? Keep them going.
Yeah.
There's different
Yeah.
ways to do that, but a lot of times is the hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
Word search, whatever. Sometimes, yeah, maybe TV. Since technology is such a big thing, use technical stuff so they can be exposed to it and know what's happening at this point in time in our world.
Yeah. What can you say to seniors who probably just didn't, they weren't afforded the opportunity to worry about no mental health? And back in their day, they just had to survive and just keep going. What can you say to these people who are living in a different time where there are their children and their grandkids and great grands that have this knowledge and information? in order for them to not discount it. But what can you say for the people that's like, I heard about that stuff, but I don't really know what that means. Should I be checking in with my mental health? How am I doing? What can you say to those seniors?
It's, well, you got to look at the resources. You got to talk about, do you have a, a community center in your area? Start there. If they are still a part of or participating in a church or with a church, those are the places where you're supposed to get those kind of things from to at least start, because the churches at some are having those events or activities, that starts them with that,
Yeah.
you know. Even at your doctor's office, ask the question, you know, I feel like it should be a whole team in every doctor office or clinic. It should be a whole team of each discipline.
Yeah.
It should be, you know. I've always fought and advocated, but I say fought for um for my seniors
Mm-hmm.
way before I became a senior,
Mm-hmm.
because they're taken advantage of and have been for a long time.
Yep.
And you have to show them and give them, uh encourage, like I said, working with the family here, make sure that they're taken care of, make sure they get this.
Yeah.
But when they are questioning, tell them,
Yeah.
because when you can tell them, and some of them really do know they can do it, but they haven't been told what it is to do so they can follow through with it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take away what they're capable of doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Encourage it.
Yeah. What is the biggest misconception you think people have about the type of work that you do?
That is not real. It doesn't work. That's not, that I went through that through my profession,
Mm.
family and friends.
Mm. Wow.
So, and I could care less, because every time you end up coming to me asking me about something or telling me something, so it's like whatever, whatever. But it's just it's not something new.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a cultural thing comes in. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To tell you the truth, I hate saying black because we're not black, but that's what we have been uh called, black people. I went through Afro American, African American, all that. I went through Negro, I'm a 60s baby, so I was still going through a colored, all of that. But I'm going to go ahead and say black. It has to do with our upbringing as well, because it has always been said, and I get this even when I do get black clients, how they were raised. You better go to church and pray to God, and that's gonna help you. But this is what I say when you're talking about pray to God. Yes, I was raised with that, still have it. But God wants you to use your senses. And God wants you to say, I need to get some help, because that's how you take care of yourself. God wants you to take care of yourself here on earth. And that's one of the ways that you take care of your mental health. If you don't do anything about it, He's looking at you like, well, what you doing? You supposed to take care of yourself too.
Yeah.
And that's how I explain it to people
Yeah.
that
People
struggle with
people
it.
love to talk about the faith, which is great. They don't talk about that work. Faith without works is
When you
dead.
gotta do the work, you got things to do. You have to do things. You gotta understand what that is, what your relationship with God is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
work to do. You gotta work.
Yes, absolutely. I have another question. We're going to be wrapping up soon. How do you not experience burnout? I have a lot of mental health friends in the mental health field. I mean, across the span, and also in the social work field. People are burnt out. My twin sister went to school, James Madison University, and studied psychology. And she worked in the field for probably about 4 years out of college. And she went in because she saw things in our household, and it made her want to help people that were going through difficulties in their life. And when she got in that field, because there's so many different things you can do in the field, she realized, I don't know, this is hard work. And not that she's not with hard work, but she's a different type of soul, and she just couldn't deal with that for an extended amount of times. So she got out of it. And I know so many people that are going through burnout in this profession. How have you not experienced that in 40 years, or have you?
Not burnout, no. What you have, because you have to really know yourself and look at yourself. Excuse me. You're going to experience things. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're going to experience some things. You have to know you, and you got to know what you can and cannot do, or what is not for you,
Yeah.
but still do what you may be passionate. I'm very passionate about what I do, and people will ask me, well, how you do this? How you deal with somebody? Well, because you still have to be able to look at people and say that they are human beings, no matter what they have said or done, because if you are there to help that person, you have to be able to do that. If you cannot do that, then it's not for you to do.
Yeah.
And you have to acknowledge that. You have to really acknowledge where you are. So you have, when you're doing your work, that's where your wellness, now we call it wellness, that's where it comes in, where you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself first before you can do this. Now, yes, I'm a human being. I get tired, sure. You get tired. That's a part of being human. But you acknowledge it, and you have to do something about it. But you learn how to put yourself on a schedule for yourself. You have to take time off. You know, yes, you can work long hours. You're gonna get tired. You're like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Whatever. But I never forget or lose what I'm doing for that person that needs the help. I don't put myself above, and some people do that. They put themselves above you. If you're doing that, then you don't need to be working with people talking about helping them. You're not above them.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in the same situation they're in a minute.
I tell people that all the time.
So stop it. Stop judging.
Yeah.
If you're gonna help, help. You
And
know.
and and lean into curiosity. I tell people you are lucky and privileged to not have experienced any poor mental health bouts. Because there are people out here who have quite literally lost their mind, and some people have gained it back, some have not. And if you can speak from a place of being an outsider and try to judge that person, that you lucky. And you better hope that it don't come around like a boomerang to you, because some people
Yes.
are just one challenging life event from having a mental break. So don't look down on what you don't understand, because if it's not you, it could be a family member. And then that's when people, it got to hit them hardest because it's close to home, where they, okay, I understand it now. I always tell people, instead of saying mental health is not real, well, check in with yourself first of all. Read some books. There are
Yeah.
whole neuroscientists that exist. All of this wouldn't exist if your brain didn't have its own health. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So just stop with that, because that's a little ignorant. But also get curious. Lean into your curiosity as it pertains to mental health and neuroscience and the brain, and even psychology. There's so many books, so many
Yeah.
podcasts, so many TV shows and documentaries. Educate yourself. Lean into
Hmm.
curiosity and learn something new. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's not true.
That's true.
But I
Yeah.
always say, if you have a brain, then you have mental health to manage. Whether you choose to do that or not is up to you. But it's there.
And that's what I always encourage my clients to use your brain. that helps you strengthen it. I don't, I'm like, we use technology all day long. So
Yeah,
I say, I have you write out things sometimes because that makes you think, and you're not using a keyboard, you thinking with your brain.
that's
And
good.
it's going through your arm, through your hand, through your fingers to that pen or pencil, and you're writing it out
That's good.
yourself.
Yeah,
That's
that's good.
therapeutic.
Yeah.
Anything you do for yourself that is helping to calm you down, that is not harmful, you got to look at the things that you like to do.
Yeah.
It's the littlest thing. And that's what I tell people. It's not a big knockdown, drag out thing. The littlest thing that's calming. It could be wearing some footies, your favorite footies, and you put them on and they're comfortable.
Yeah.
That's a different feeling for you. You
So
pay attention to that.
speaking of, what do you do? What do you do to find joy? What do you do to keep your mental health balance? What are some
Ah,
things that you enjoy?
sometimes I just like sitting and doing nothing, have no sound, nothing. And I love music. I love, watching certain programs, whatever. Drinking my juice, my tea. I love my ginger tea and all of the others, peppermint and green tea, all of that. But sitting, because I do enjoy doing things and going places. I grew up traveling. We always was on the road, going somewhere, doing something. We went to visit family in Georgia all the time. Every year we did that. Growing up, doing that. So I love to drive. Because we always drove. People, I said, let's drive. I don't want to drive. I want to fly. I'm like, we drove everywhere.
Hmm.
I don't mind flying, but I'll drive out west. Not by myself, but I will do it. So that kind of stuff, to plan and go somewhere and do something, fine. I love cooking. So for me to cook here at home is relaxing for me.
Hmm.
And I concoct all kind of stuff together. My son called my salads exotic salads. Oh, they are. Okay. Well, whatever. Because I put
Yeah.
different stuff in it. But that's the main thing that I do. Um, is sit down and just have silence. I have my massage stuff that, the one that you put around your neck. I do that kind of stuff. And then sometimes go and pamper myself. Sometimes I'll do it myself. I might do my nails and my toes myself,
Hmm.
you know. And then sometimes you want someone else to do it. Uh, getting a massage, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts before we wrap up the podcast? It's been wonderful.
Yes, I've enjoyed this very much. I'm glad we were able to do this. Um, just saying to everyone, take care of yourself and take care of others too. But start with yourself. You got to see what that is. Know who you are.
Hmm.
Really know who you are. And it's really, and like I keep saying, simple things. It's the simple things. This is not something that you got to go way out, you know. Take a break from technology because it is going to be our life for real.
Yeah.
But I grew up through all the different times when we didn't have all this technology. And that's why we can say, as seniors, how it is destructive, because we know you can survive without all of this. But, this is life and this is how things go. But the main thing is to take care of yourself. Look at the things that you like, look at the things you enjoy doing that's not harmful to you, that is helpful, and look at what makes you really feel good. I'm talking about not harmful things,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um And that could be just like I said, like I do. I just sit, do nothing. That is so comforting, not to do anything. Some people, I gotta be productive. No, you don't. Sit your tail down, be still. You'll be all right. Just do that. So that's my thing. Focusing on yourself. That is not selfish. People are told that they're selfish when they say they want to do something for themselves.
Yeah.
But you're not. That's not being selfish. That's being real that you need to take care of you and do things that you enjoy for you.
And on that note, my grandfather and I talked about it yesterday. Self-preservation is key. You can help other people because he is a very kind person. He used to pick people up on the side of the road when we
Yeah.
were younger. I said, baby, you can't do that no more. People crazy
No.
now. And I hate to
Yeah.
use that word. People different now.
Yeah.
But he said self-preservation is key. And I think that ties in so well. Cousin, I want to thank you for joining me
Yes.
today. It's been a beautiful
Very true.
episode. This has been wonderful. And I pray
Uh-huh.
that people who watch it, who have watched it live and who are watching it later, will have gotten something from it. I know I did. We talked about so much. So
So
thank you for your
much.
work. And thank you for helping people that are experiencing challenges in their life get their
Okay.
life back. Nikki
Uh-huh.
says she loves Des. We love you too. And you know what we'll do? I'll just close this out with you so we can exit out together. But
Okay.
everyone joining today, again, this is Diseree Young. She's a clinical therapist and social worker, and also my cousin. She's based in Detroit, Michigan. Are you in Detroit?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're in
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, Michigan, and she is a therapist on BetterHelp. So who knows? You might get her on BetterHelp. I know y'all saw y'all seen those advertisements for BetterHelp. Those are
Yeah.
real people because she is a therapist on that platform doing some amazing work. But this has been episode 50. You can find it on YouTube. So once it's on there, you can share it to everyone, and
Okay.
we will see you next month for episode 51. Shout out to the Soul Tribe family. If you made it to the end of this video, put some sunshine emojis in the bottom, in the description. I'm sorry, in the down below. And then also, if you are watching the replay, type in hashtag replay. Y'all stay well, be well. Remember to shine your light and to mind your mind. My name is Soliél Lindsey, your host of Soul Sleep Conversations. I will see y'all next month.
Thank you.
Peace.